Yo guys, what's up? I'm trying to do a quick intro here. It's a little janky too. I lost my tripod attachment to set up my phone to record, but I'm doing a quick intro because this is over an hour long video. I hope you guys stay. This is something that I'm really excited about. I collabed with my boy Chris Anthony Lopez. He is the host of For Chris's Sake, and you can find that wherever you find your podcast. Just type in For Chris's Sake or type in Chris Anthony Lopez into the search bar, and his podcast will come up. He has 7 episodes besides this one that is up right now. So what we did with this one is he's posting this, the audio version, to his podcast, and I have the video and audio here on my YouTube. And we talked about a lot of things about the consoles, next gen, past gen, etc. Um, and we just rolled with it, seeing where the conversation went, and it went pretty well. We had 3 of our other friends in there. You'll see their names on there. You've seen them in gameplay, and they have their gamer tags in there. So now you get to put a face to the gamer tag that you guys always see. But aside from that, guys, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get notifications when I upload a new video, and leave a comment. Let me know if you guys like this stuff, because I really hope that me and Chris can do more collab. He's got the podcast, he does other live stream stuff, and I have my YouTube going. But yeah, hopefully I can do more things like this with him. I really enjoyed it. And you guys leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought. Maybe we'll do other things. Football talks, We could do stuff like that on here. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Peace.
So Michael Haddadin,
Hello.
Andrew Garibay,
Hello.
John Rivera,
Present teacher.
Caesar Rosales.
Do my eyes deceive me?
How do
Can
we
it
feel
be?
about the next generation of video game consoles? And since there's so many people here, we're gonna start with Andrew, please.
All right. Honestly, how I feel, I think these consoles are pretty even. The Xbox slightly, like very, very slightly more powerful than the PS4, but I think the PS4 is gonna have better loading time. The exclusives on the PS4, bro, don't even get me started. Chris already knows Miles Morales, first game, gotta get.
Damn right about it.
Let's see what else is there. The pricing. So the thing that PS4 did is they leaked their price to just see what Xbox would do. Xbox went $100 cheaper, so PS4 matched it. Like, bro, that's a BDE, if I'm going to be honest. I really like that move. And Sony has the money to spare to where they could make a $600 console, but sell it for $500.
Caesar, how do you feel about next gen consoles?
Truthfully, it's going to be a very competitive year just because each system has very exclusives, like really great exclusives, no matter which way you go. So it's going to be competitive throughout the entire, lifespan of these next gen consoles. And it's really exciting because we'll see each developers bring in new ideas, new games, you know what I mean, just to see which one gets the edge. So I'm excited for how competitive it's going to be for this next cycle of next gen consoles, basically.
Mike, how you feel?
I'm super excited, especially for the PS5. And I actually read an article. I know Andrew said that the Xbox is going to be more powerful, but I read an article on IGN or something where developers were talking about on paper the Xbox might be powerful, but what the PlayStation has put together, it's going to run a lot better than the Xbox. They said it's going to change the way how they're going to make games, so I'm super excited for that.
And John, how do you feel?
I'm so excited for both of them, if I'm being honest with you. We've been talking smack about the Xbox, but I mean, eventually I'm going to have both. PlayStation's a way to go for me as a first purchase. I'm going to place my pre-order hopefully within the next coming days. But I think this can be a big, what you want to call it, generation, I guess, for Xbox. I think this is the one they're going to keep up with PlayStation and Sony for. Halo being delayed might hurt them at first, but I think they're in for a big run. But PlayStation exclusives, man, like Andrew said, Miles Morales Spider-Man. Oh my God, I finally played the Amazing Spider-Man on the PlayStation during quarantine, and I loved every moment of it.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of For Chris's Sake. Thank you all for listening. No, but this console war, I'm so glad, John, you brought it up. Caesar, you might have touched on this too, but Xbox has a lot to prove with this upcoming generation of not only games but in a console. Because, I mean, I will probably get into the PS4 and Xbox One and our thoughts on it as we're currently ending this generation in the next couple months. But PlayStation, it's been the go-to console for the last few years in my eyes for a plethora of reasons that I guarantee we'll get into in the next however so long we do this. But Xbox, they finally have that one. They one-upped PlayStation in some facet, and that is how strong and how powerful the console is. And we've seen the specs. If you're an Xbox fan, that's the one thing you're hanging your. That's the one feather in your cap. That's your one thing. Oh, the console is powerful than the PlayStation 5, and that's fact. That is fact, 100%. And what they're doing with the Xbox Game Pass is also incredible. So Xbox finally has they have ammunition in this console war because I think it's been one-sided for a while now. And after these two consoles have run their course, when we get to the Xbox Series Z and the PlayStation 6, I hope we get to talk about both of these consoles in similar fashions, whether or not one's not a disappointment or one's struggling and the other one's thriving, but they're both on equal playing fields. And John had even alluded to it a little bit. Xbox finally has this could be the generation for the Xbox. They might not win the thing, but they will still have something to hang their hat on. And I'm looking forward to not only that, but the catalog of games on both sides, because now these distributing companies like Sony, Microsoft, they're buying game developers and making games in-house, which is also very interesting going forward and how that's going to pan out. And we heard the stuff on PlayStation 5 and Sony first-party games being a little more in cost, at least for us consumers. So, I mean, we'll get into that, but by all means, let's just open Pandora's box.
So, go into that Game Pass, bro. Xbox has 100 titles on there, 100 games on that Game Pass that they're gonna be going out, and then PlayStation, they countered sort of with the PlayStation Plus collection, but
Yeah,
they're all older games, and Xbox is giving like a couple newer games. You know what I mean? So like the
And
value of
PlayStation's
that,
not doing PlayStation's not doing as many backwards compatible games too.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back to just the PS4, nothing earlier. Xbox is going back to what the Xbox
The original.
360? The original
No.
still?
Yeah.
Oh
From what
my
I just read a couple minutes ago, yeah, they're doing some original Xbox games.
That's insane. But yeah, so like, dude, 100 titles compared to like, I think we're gonna get 30 out of the PS Plus collection. Like, just the value in that alone, Xbox has the edge on that part, and I really like that.
And Caesar, I know at least you're the one that plays Xbox more than any of us do. And it's no secret, because for those who don't know us, we talk every day, and we play games all the time. And if you're watching this on Gare and Andrew's YouTube channel, then you see that you'll see our names on it all the time. But if Caesar's not there, odds are he's either selling paint or he's playing his Xbox. So, Caesar, what's
You're a
kept
paint
you with
seller?
Xbox for so long?
I think because of how that was the start. You know what I mean? That was the start for me. I didn't start off with PlayStation. I didn't start off with um actually I started off with a Wii. Take it back a little bit. I started off with
Yeah,
a Wii, right?
love a Wii
And
over
then
here.
and then from that to the Xbox 360. So the reason why I went 360 is because like uncle, he brought it over one day and I started playing it. And ever since then, the first game I ever played was Grand Theft Auto 4. And from then on, the 360 just became like natural. And it's crazy because people around me would get the PlayStation 3. And just from the remotes, like it was just like the subtle differences between each was just very like different. But I think I've been playing the 360. I've been playing the Xbox since I think I was like 10. So just natural. I think naturally, like for me, it's just my go-to. Like I can always go back and like a game I always still play on that is GTA 5. because that's where me, John, a couple other guys, we all play GTA 5, and my rank is like the highest it can be. So I'll go back to there because it's super ranked up, and if I go to the PlayStation, I'm super low ranked. You know, the familiarness of just going back to the Xbox, just this nostalgia. There you go. That's the best way to say it. Is it's like nostalgia. Like, it's really fun playing the games we all used to play, and I still find the fun in the game. You know, I know you guys moved on to uh, like your regulars, like Call of Duty. Like, we'll stick to that. Me, I like to go back to like GTA. I go back to, I think at one point I downloaded WWE for shippers. Um, so just for nostalgia, you know what I mean? It's just nostalgia for me, I guess.
Go
Question.
ahead, John.
What is your level in GTA on the Xbox?
On the
Because you said you're at the
Xbox,
max level.
I like no. I made it to, I think my level is 250.
What the?
And in GTA, I think the highest is like 900 something.
Oh, never mind. Jesus Christ.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, Jesus.
But for 250, that's still pretty high. When you jump into the lobbies, you can always see everybody else's rank, and I'm always in like the top 5 of the highest rank. And it's insane because so many things in the game that, like racing, like how good of a driver you are, how much flying you do, all of those stats are maxed out because of all the amount I played, either on my own or with the group that we used to have.
And if I'm not mistaken, aren't PlayStation 5 users getting GTA 5 at launch?
That is true. Very true.
So I mean, I've been out of the game literally. I've been out of the game for Grand Theft Auto 5 for years now, and I miss it every day. I love playing that game so much, and I had it on Xbox, but when I converted to PlayStation for Spider-Man PS4 that John had mentioned, the PlayStation it changed my POV on gaming consoles, because similar to Caesar, nostalgia is a big thing for me, and I first started with the first 2 PlayStations, and they were like hand-me-downs. My cousin, who is 2 days younger than me, had these consoles, and when he'd upgrade to the next gen, he'd give me the old one. I don't know if I ever told you guys that, but my cousin, like, when he got the PlayStation 2, I got his PlayStation, and when he got the PS3, I got his PS2. And then not too long after, I got the Xbox 360, and to this day, it's one of my favorite consoles I've ever owned. I also had a Wii, and that also took up way too many hours of my life. But I mean, we would play constantly. Like Caesar said, like GTA 5 would be up until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Real quick, GTA 5 will be released in the second half of 2021 on the PlayStation 5. So we're not getting it at launch.
Oh, so they're not done.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, they're not
So
done
it's
yet.
not done
But
converting
it's going
to.
to continue with what they said. Every month, whoever has it gets the $100,000.
Million.
100,000.
Million.
I do believe they're also expanding the map.
Really?
Are they?
Why are you going to expand
Yeah.
a map on an 8-year-old game?
If I could
I
jump
don't know.
into it real quick.
I heard that they're like changing some stuff with the next gen.
Nah, focus on the new game. I don't care about this map.
Let me jump in.
Focus
real
on
quick.
6.
Go ahead, Caesar.
So the thing about 5 is the fact that it's correct. Like, I think I told you guys too, but it's crazy how GTA 5 has survived through 3 different console generations. Like, that's the insane part. And I think Rockstar at this point has realized, hey, this game is very much still alive, and we're still getting this many amount of people still logging in. Let's just keep milking it until we really can't milk it anymore. But I know me myself as a GTA player, it's a little worrisome because you don't know if we're gonna get the same as we do now, or if they're, as in like graphics wise, or if it's gonna be like almost like a brand new game when it's time for the PS5. So it's like it's a little worrisome if you're in the GTA community because you don't know if we're just gonna get an HDD, 4K, whatever you want to call it. We don't know if we're gonna get the H double Ds, triple Ds, maybe. We don't know if we're just gonna get an H triple D game, or if we're gonna get like a brand new experience. So in the GTA community, it's very much like it's like holding on to their breath and waiting to see what we're gonna get.
Mike, I don't know if you were an avid Grand Theft Auto player, but and I don't know if I think you're getting, at least when we talked about it,
Yeah.
you're leaning towards PlayStation in regards to the next gen of consoles. But does Grand Theft Auto 5 like appeal to you in regards to getting the game at least what John said halfway through the year next year?
Oh, for sure. I love Grand Theft Auto. I've been playing since San Andreas, actually Vice City, and I'm actually like around level 200 something as well on the
Right there.
PlayStation
That's
version.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm a little disappointed that they haven't said anything about the next GTA. They're just talking about bringing this over to the next console. So I'm just still waiting on like what are they actually doing with the new GTA, and then what's going to be different on the next generation of GTA 5 for the PS5 and Xbox. Because a couple of months ago, I believe some of my old friends were talking about, they mentioned about expanding the map on the new gen. So I really don't know what's, going on.
The only problem I think with expanding the map on a pre-existing game
Yeah,
is like it becomes what Caesar was saying. It becomes a new game, but it feels like it's a refurbished game.
definitely. But at the same time, like GTA is such a good game because I love GTA. I used to play it every single day back on the 360 and then the PS4. Like if they're taking their sweet time and perfecting the next GTA, I'm fine with waiting as long as it's like amazing.
The when the PS5 did their I forget what the event was called, but they had a little like showcase, the showcase before the showcase where they showed us
Yeah, like the
games
new
and
games.
yeah, they showed us all
Yeah.
that. It was like a new game showcase, and like it didn't really tell us anything about the console.
Mm.
No, they showed us what it looked like. They showed
Yeah.
us what the thing it looked like. Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, and we were. I remember. I think Andrew and or I don't know if anybody else was watching it live when it was happening, but that's when they showed us Miles. John, shout out to John. It's when they showed us Miles for the first time, and John had mentioned Miles Morales. I think Andrew did a little bit as well, but oh my God. They showed us a little bit more at this most recent PS5 showcase, and it looks stupid good. Like I know out of at least all of us, I think I'm probably the biggest Spider-Man mark, but I love that not only did we get to see Miles in Spider-Verse when the world was introduced to Miles Morales, but this game that is a spin-off of the mainline Spider-Man game it's going to spotlight a character from that game that I think a lot of people loved, with the exception of those stupid stealth missions that involved Miles. Why are you doing that in a Spider-Man game? But now, like, this game looks incredible, and the gameplay looks stupid. And the fact that they showed us the capture on a PlayStation, on like the PlayStation engine, oh my Lord and Savior, like. So, I mean, we've been talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 for a little bit now, but what else are we looking forward to in regards to next-gen games? Not even just PlayStation, but just what's coming in the coming year and a half, 2 years.
Harry Potter.
Hogwarts Legacy looks ridiculous.
It does look ridiculous. And I want to know, like, is it going to be where you get to choose your house, or are you going to do actions prior to the sorting hat, and then that's going to choose your house like from there?
I love
Like
that.
that would be crazy.
It's just gonna.
But I did take my. I did take my Pottermore quiz again, just because I haven't taken it since like freshman year of high school, and I got Gryffindor this time. I think I got Hufflepuff the first time.
Yeah.
But so then that way, like if it is, we get to choose. I'll choose what I got on my quiz, But like the open world RPG, that's like insane. I don't think I've played one of those, and this might be one of the first ones that I play like for a long time.
Are y'all looking forward to that Harry Potter game? At least I know Andrew and I are.
From what I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've always wondered if there's ever going to be like a new Harry Potter open world game, because the last one I played was on the PS2.
Oh, that game was hard. Which one was it? Oh
I don't
my
even
God.
remember, but I just remember running around being chased by a snake.
Wasn't it Chamber of Secrets?
Man,
I want to say it was Chamber of Secrets.
I don't even remember.
By
Man.
the way, I know what game you're talking about, Mike. Absolutely fantastic.
I won't lie to you guys.
And the Chamber of Secrets.
Thanks,
I'm
John.
not the biggest Harry Potter fan, and just from that, I'm gonna get canceled in 2 years.
Trust me, J.K. Rowling's already taken all the heat for you.
Yeah, to be honest.
But the idea of that world now being open and you're actually able to explore it more, that's the thing that I really like about it. And I know I'm probably gonna get this game too, just because of the idea of like we get to explore the world of Harry Potter, not like go to Universal Studio and walk down the block.
I got
actually
Slytherin.
I get to take that test. I gotta take that test too. I'm gonna go with the cool people.
I got it when
No
we went
jack
to
about
LA.
Harry Potter.
They had the actual hat, and you just sit under it, and it tells you where your house is. And I was the only guy that got Slytherin in the entire group that we
Yeah,
went with.
the AI that John was under told him that he was a Slytherin.
Yeah.
I'm mostly excited for Demon Souls. As you guys remember, From Software, the people who make, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and through 3, Bloodborne, Shadows Die Twice, that's my favorite game developers. And the fact they're remaking a 11-year-old game, I'm just extremely excited. It was one of my favorite games ever.
Going off of that, like I think what we can see too in this next generation, I think we're gonna see a lot of remakes. Just because of how I think popular remaking things is, like in general, like in just
Yeah.
TV shows.
Oh
movies.
yeah.
I think we're gonna start seeing that more in video games. We're gonna see a
'Cause-
lot more remakes.
In the Demon Souls trailer, they didn't just like resurface the skins and all that. They completely changed the mechanics of it too, which really shocked me. They changed like the animations of when you get your currency in the game, which is souls. They changed like the animations of like backstabbing or doing a death blow. So I'm excited to see what else is new.
To piggyback off of Caesar's point in regards to like remasters of games, I mean, the biggest one that at least that we saw in the last few years, and this is probably another notch in the PlayStation column, was Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, like the following for that game is insane, and I'm pretty sure none of us here have played it. I don't think any of us are Final Fantasy marks, but the internet and the people that scour like Twitter and Reddit, you can find a lot of love for Final Fantasy, and those games remasters have been incredibly popular and successful. So I definitely think we will see more games adapted for PS5 and Xbox Series X engines, especially after we saw the success of what Nintendo did with what's it call it? Not Nintendo. What am I thinking? What Sony did with Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and making them accessible for other consoles. I think we'll see more of that as well, because those games were successful in their own right. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of us here at least have played some of Spyro. Spyro is one of PlayStation's mascots. He's up there with like Sly Cooper and I'm blanking on literally every other PlayStation mascot ever. But
Sackboy 2, something like that.
Yeah,
Sackboy.
freaking Little Big Planet.
There you go. Yeah.
And we're getting another one of those for PlayStation.
We are.
So,
that's right.
There's so many different things that Sony and Xbox can do, or Sony and Microsoft can do, to not only touch on the nostalgia that Caesar was talking about not too long ago, but reintroduce these characters to a new audience. I am still waiting for Sly Cooper to be remastered and put on PS5, because I wanted it for the PS4. I can wait for the PS5 now since the console comes out in 2 months. But we will see more remasters. We'll see more indie developers get more love, because indie games are so hot right now. It's ridiculous. Like, spoiler alert, after this recording, a lot of us are going to go play Among Us, which is blowing up the planet right now. First it was Fall Guys, and now it's Among Us, back to back in the same month.
Man, screw Fall Guys.
Fall Guys is the absolute worst, and I hate it so much.
Granted, like Among Us has been out for 2 years and it just became big. Like it blew up. That shit's insane.
I just learned that.
Well,
right
that's
now.
also how Fortnite was too. Fortnite was in development for like 5-10 years.
It was in development for a long time. Yeah.
Blew up.
Andrew, what else are you looking forward to in regards to this gen?
Man, honestly, I'm looking forward to the 120 FPS. That's
Storage.
going to be a big thing. The store, guys. All right. So everyone listening right now, understand these guys have bagged on me for the past 4 months because I don't have a
Longer.
big enough hard drive. All right, maybe longer than 4 months, but because I don't have a big enough hard drive, and the only game I can have on my console right now is Call of Duty, and we're all getting tired of getting killed every time we play.
The pandemic really put all of our brains into Andrew's hard drive, and that's why he has no space. Because when the pandemic first hit, that's all we did was play video games. Because what the hell we're gonna do? Go to work?
Goodbye,
Wow.
flash drive.
Listen,
I mean, yeah, like or getting like an external hard drive, but I mean, Andrew, like, especially now with the Cold War alpha that's out right
Oh,
now
yes.
at the time of this recording.
God.
Like, what else did you have to delete to make room for that?
I didn't have to delete anything because I deleted fucking MLB, NBA, all those, NFL, the Madden games. I deleted everything prior to the Cold War alpha coming out.
I love
But
that.
bro, if we want to talk about this alpha,
Oh
Like,
yeah,
dude,
happily go crazy.
I am in love with this alpha. I know you guys don't like it.
Oh no, I love it.
I like it.
Oh,
I love
Okay.
and hated. I was telling Tom this earlier. I love and hate it so much, but love is like maybe like
Slightly
a
above.
centimeter above how much I hate it. Because man, skill-based matchmaking is awful.
Yes, it's gonna if skill based matchmaking is as like tough as it is because the algorithm it has you like so pinpointed into a group right now, and if they keep it how it is and don't expand it or make a separate playlist to where you can go play against people in skill based matchmaking, then I think it's gonna get a lot of backlash, which it already is. Everyone's saying cancel SBMM. Who Crowder has said it. Marcel. Those are big streamers, and they are content creators. They're not pros like Scump. Like Scump has no problem with this. A Scump. But Scump, he's a pro Call of Duty player. He played in the Champions League, and
He's an animal.
he is insane. Like cracked. Like, dude, this guy is good,
And he's on crack.
and he is on crack. The way he plays, he's on crack. There's no chance he's not. But yeah. So like those guys, they have no problem going to this SB skill based matchmaking, right? Because that's what they do all day. But content creators, like, they're getting mad because they're not able to come in here, drop 50 bombs in fucking multiplayer, and go on with their day. They're getting mad because they're going up against good players that are literally crapping on their chests, like OBJ likes.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
How did I get here? Mom?
Yeah,
But, yeah,
I gotta go. My mom's making me do the dishes.
Stop me up for scaring me.
Mom,
But I mean,
my
I'm excited.
drugs.
I'm extremely. Oh fucking god!
All because OBJ had to shit on someone's chest.
I'm gonna take it as a
Thank
compliment though. They're saying we're good to be getting shat on.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm extremely excited. We've only seen 3 of the maps for
No, but
multiplayer.
zombies.
Is going
for
to be
sure.
I
big
cannot
selling
wait
point.
for Call of Duty Zombie feedback because Chris and I were talking about this yesterday. We haven't played since we lived together at State, and that was 4 years ago.
So long ago.
Jesus.
I think it's Black Ops 3.
It was Black Ops 3, yes.
Black Ops 3.
Did I play Black Ops 3? I don't think I did. Did I?
Yes.
I don't
Because,
remember. But
Yeah.
Call of Duty Cold War, I mean, it comes out, and I think Andrew told me this yesterday. It comes out a couple days after the release of
What?
the next. What happened?
One day after the PS5 releases, and 2 days before the Xbox releases.
Okay. So this new game. Okay, so I have a lot of issues with Cold War. At least from what we've played so far, it's the beta to the beta. So I can't really complain about this thing because it's not a finished game. So what I played so far, the maps have been booty cheeks, absolute booty.
Miami's too dark.
Yeah.
We're talking flat asses, all right? When you're talking like, double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, we're talking
Isn't it a Tuesday?
flat asses.
Isn't the quote on Tuesday?
Either way,
Is it?
if you
I
got
can't
if you got no cheeks, you got no cheeks. And this game is cheeks. So the
The
Miami
game
map,
doesn't have cheeks.
the Miami map sucks. The Moscow map was my favorite of the bunch, but it's still not good. And the other one, I forget what it's called.
Satellite.
Satellite.
Yeah. Reminds me of home.
It's legit.
It's what what was that map in Modern Warfare that was all snipers? What was it?
There's,
Piccadilly?
No.
Oh, the bridge,
Yes,
Yeah.
Frady's
Yeah,
Bridge
yeah.
or something like that.
where it's just a sniper fest.
Well, to
Yeah.
me, Satellite looks like I think I mentioned this when we were playing. It looks like Tatooine. It looks like freaking a Star Wars Battlefront map.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a X-wing crashed onto Tatooine, and that's what we're playing on as a map. And I can't rock with that necessarily. It was fine, but there's a whole side of the map dedicated to sniping, and it was disgusting to play on. But like the game was fine for what it was. I want to play more of this as it goes, and I'm gonna get the game because I'm a shill for Call of Duty. Like I'm not
Modern
gonna
Warfare
knock it.
Well,
Yeah.
plus for zombies.
Oh, and I'm so glad both
Yeah.
you and John mentioned the zombies thing, because that's, I mean, like what John said, like we played that game a ton.
Yeah.
I will never forget playing Black Ops 2 Transit. It's the most fun I've had playing Call of Duty ever. And although it was super frustrating,
If you missed the bus.
yeah, if you missed the bus and your friends yelling at you when they're down, and there's a ton of zombies everywhere,
And you gotta
and
run
you
across
can't-
the map.
you can't find the pack-a-punch. Like it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was ignorant to all that. Like I like Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty. I just love playing it with my friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know the lore of zombies. I think it was you, Mike, that was
Mhm.
telling us when we played yesterday, as of this recording, that like you were a mark for the whole storyline that zombies did. And that was one of the pluses that Call of Duty has had as a franchise.
Yeah.
They weren't getting crazy with their storylines, and they were through line through the games, at least until Modern Warfare rebooted everything.
Chris, the midst of, I'm a sucker for the campaign, and I'm excited because for this one they're bringing back the original Black Ops characters, and it's a sequel. It's basically a sequel to Black Ops 1,
Yeah.
but a prequel kind of to Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
So
What was Black Ops
excited.
1? Was that Vietnam?
Black Ops 1.5.
There you go, 1.5. There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Black Ops 1 was Vietnam. 2 was in the future, and a little bit of late Vietnam, I believe. And this one is Cold War. So I'm excited for campaign. I wasn't a big fan of campaign.
Mhm.
And zombie storyline, it's gonna be interesting seeing where they go, because in Black Ops 4, I was gonna say 3. In Black Ops 4, they kind of they ended sort of, not really. They tried to end it. They left us with a really strange ending. So it's like it's gonna be interesting to see where they take the story now. But I'm excited for the campaign. Campaign is really what I'm having my eye out for. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Fun fact: Black Ops 2 is coming up in 5 years. 2025.
See?
Oh,
We're
really?
gonna have all like the little computers on our wrist.
And we're gonna be
Flying
double
drone.
jumping.
Jumping on walls and shit.
The 100 killer drone.
That's
No,
like-
Black Ops 2 is grounded. Grounds on boots.
Black Ops 2 was grounded.
Boots on the
Black
ground.
Ops 2 was the yeah.
God, I did not like Black Ops 2 multiplayer.
That was
What?
the best multiplayer
That was-
in my opinion.
That was me and John's.
Yeah, I did. I
In
did
my
like Black
opinion.
Ops.
I didn't rock. That's what low key. That was the beginning of the end for me for COD until I got World War II.
Go.
Mhm.
World War II, like it lit the fire, it lit the wick, but the candle itself, at least the smell that I got from this metaphorical franchise, is called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like that game, it's fantastic, and I loved it. And the introduction of Warzone, as much as it pisses me off, as much as it makes me want to die sometimes, as much as it makes me want to just throw my PlayStation out the window, and all that fun stuff and more. I will always return to it. And guess what? We've already spoken about playing that game today. So it's hard to really go away from Call of Duty, especially like I'm such a fan of first person shooters,
Mhm.
and Call of Duty's where my heart lies. Like I mentioned earlier, I got the Xbox 360. That was my first. That's when I became a gamer, whatever the hell that means nowadays. And when I got the console, Modern Warfare 3 was my jam. Like that was my jam. It's probably my favorite Call of Duty I've ever played, just because of how much fun it was and how grand of a time it was every time I loaded in that game. But my experience on the 360 to transition to previous gens for a second, like I loved the Xbox 360. I loved it so much. And yeah, like depending on where you stand, I know Mike's gonna have a different opinion on me in regards to that generation of consoles. But holy hell, like, and Caesar, you had an Xbox 360, I believe. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we played freaking. I probably played MW3, but I was rocking with that console forever. But that's when Xbox stole my heart for those few years. Like the Xbox 360 to me won that generation of consoles, not because of the power of the console. Like all that shit can go down in the hole. I don't care about the specs. Like I
Yes.
really don't care. That's my biggest thing with this current anticipation for next gen is that people keep going back to the specs as a valid argument into why one's better than the other. Who cares? Who cares about the specs? Nobody. No one cares. And now, we have all these games to look forward to. But with the Xbox 360, I thought that console kicked ass. I still think it kicks ass, and I don't even have one anymore.
Dude, I still have mine. I still have mine somewhere in my house. I still have it. It's somewhere. And
I threw mine in the trash.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Ouch.
Jesus Christ. Mike, we were doing so good. We were doing so good. We were about to be best friends. More than we already are. more than we already are. We were about to be, you know what I mean? But after that, you just kind of like, you went down a notch. You went down a notch. I mean,
Ouch.
I mean, to be fair, I think everyone knows most people went PS2, PS3 to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to the PS4, and now we're gonna see where people go. Because like it's easy to go from the PS2 to the PS3, right? Because that's what you're familiar with. But the Xbox 360 was better, so I think a lot of people switched to it during that time. And it's easy to go from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, but the PS4 was better. And that's how like a lot of people actually did it. But the Xbox 360, I'm going to say, was better than the PS3, even if it got outsold by the PS3.
You know what?
Well-
What's gonna suck? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead first. Mine's gonna a hot minute.
Mike's gonna go on the soapbox.
Mike's been loading up ammo and just like,
He's letting us talk, and then he's gonna come and obliterate us.
I've been loading up the RPG slowly.
Go ahead, Caesar.
No, I'm saying like we're over talking about the Xbox and the PlayStation. Meanwhile, the PC people are just like chilling.
Oh man,
Just
don't
sitting
even
back,
get started. The PC is the future of gaming. Let's be honest. Like the Xbox, the PS4 are just catching up to the 120 frames per second specs that are like have been around for years, and the PC is still more powerful. Like it's more expensive by a lot, by like $1,000.
Yeah,
Maybe two, but it's the future of gaming. If you're like worried about graphics and no lag, no the loading time, it's the future of gaming in my opinion.
Mike,
Soapbox.
this is your soapbox. Go crazy.
well,
Unload. Just just start unloading.
I think the Xbox was better in terms of like socially better, if that makes sense. It was definitely
Makes
a lot.
sense.
a lot more popular in the United States. They had parties at the time where PS3 didn't. They had a really good amount of indie games like Doritos Crash Course or Castle Miner Z. Like I love
Yo,
their
you pulled
indie
that game
games.
out of the back of my memory.
Right.
Doritos Crash
Right.
Course.
Like those were great additions to the Xbox. But in terms of like the actual system and the what do you call it? Their servers, I thought it was absolute trash. So like I bought the PS3 when it first came out, the fat one, when I was in Jordan in 2006 when it first came out. And until 2013 or 14 when my house got broken into, got stolen, it still worked perfectly, no problem. And then so when I moved to the United States, everyone, their mom had an Xbox. So I got the fat Xbox 360 Elite, the black one.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, it doesn't have Wi-Fi connectability unless you buy $100 adapter to connect to Wi-Fi. Do you guys remember that?
No.
No, mine connected to Wi-Fi perfectly fine.
The very first
Yeah.
original 360s that came out, you had to buy an adapter to connect to Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you had to connect directly through Ethernet.
No.
Caesar, can you confirm?
That's all me. I had the original white like Xbox 360, like the original very first generation. I had that, and I had an Ethernet for the longest time. I think we changed internet providers, so we ran on Wi-Fi. So I had to go and get that it's like a little square, little cute little box and connect it to the 360 and get internet through that.
Yeah, and that was $100.
That's stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the reason why that I don't know that, and maybe Chris doesn't know that, because I switched from the PS3 to the Xbox 360. You know, it's like I got the later version.
Yeah, the slims. Those are nice.
Yeah. I was definitely late to the party. Pun intended.
So I got the Elite, and apparently with Xbox, like if you move your console like 1 centimeter with the disc in, you hear like a fucking construction saw go off.
It's game over. Yeah.
Your CD's ruined.
Done. That happened to my mom for 3 once.
Ouch.
I was pissed.
And to cut the long story short, I've been through 4 Xboxes because something was always messing up. And the connection to Xbox 360 servers I thought were absolutely horrible because it became such a norm that if someone randomly left the party, that everyone thought, he probably just lagged out. Everyone was like periodically lagging out throughout the day. Has that guys ever happened to you?
Happened to you guys? Yeah.
Man, that was so long ago. I don't remember.
I mean, lagging out. Geez, we all still lag out to this day.
But with the 360, it was
the 360 was bad. I remember that because I mean, like you said, Mike, it was the social aspect of the Xbox just ruled.
Yeah.
It reigned over anything else at the time.
The biggest thing for me was the parties. That was amazing because on PS3 you can only talk through game chat in that one game.
And now, I mean, PlayStation, what they've been doing the last few years is like they are definitely, both consoles are better at different things.
Yeah.
And that is fact, and that's been a thing for years. But in regards to the PS3 and the Xbox 360, to Andrew's point, I didn't have a PS3 at any point. I've never owned a PlayStation 3. Okay. So with that timeline that Andrew gave, the only thing that I skipped over was the PS3. Everything else was fact. Everything else was valid. I went from 360 to the Xbox One. I'll save my thoughts on the Xbox One in a second for right now. But then I went to PlayStation 4, and now I'm the happiest boy on the planet with my console.
Yeah.
But the Xbox 360, it wasn't perfect by any means. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But the game itself, and I don't know, or the console itself had some issues. And I don't know if any of you guys experienced, at least all my Xbox 360 homies, have y'all had the Red Ring of Death?
Yeah, that's why I went through 4 of them.
Yes.
So I'm the only one in here that has not gone through it.
No, I didn't get the Red Ring of Death either.
Oh, okay.
I flipped my Xbox on its side and it worked.
I had a friend who had to beat his Xbox just like a read a disc.
Dude.
Dave, he office spaced it. He took it out back and beat its ass.
No, like we'd be in a party, right? He put in a disc. All right, guys, give me a second. In the background, you'd hear. And then you're all right. Now I can play.
Dude, did your
Wait,
parents
wait,
come
wait.
in and start hitting you?
Yeah, dude. Like, is that your mom? Like, should we call the police?
Is everything okay at home?
I'm actually in my car right now.
It's like, oh no, he's crying and shit. But
in your car.
my man can do whatever he wants. Leave him alone.
I'm in my car, so I don't get disturbed.
See, he doesn't want to be. He wants to be left in peace with 4 other people that are yelling into his earpods. But what?
Yeah.
Pro, don't forget, Pro.
Yeah, man, I don't speak broke. I said, even though I didn't buy them myself, my girlfriend got them for me as a Christmas gift.
Your girlfriend.
Man,
Not
I
all
wish
of us
I
are
had a
that
girlfriend.
fortunate.
I wish I had a girlfriend to give me some AirPods. Fuck.
So before we wrap, I wanna talk about this current generation of consoles.
Yeah.
So we like I said, like we all said multiple times during this podcast, we all play frequently with each other, and in the console sense, you dirty-minded mother truckers. In regards to current gen consoles, in you guys' opinion, who won this generation of consoles?
The PS4.
PS4.
The PlayStation.
Caesar?
You're on crack if you think Xbox won.
I wanted to see what my man says. Think on it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we'll buy you some time. So, John, Andrew, and Mike,
Yeah.
why do you guys think the PlayStation won this console war?
This what is it? The amount of consoles
Units
sold. Yeah.
Units.
Plus, anybody I've asked, it's always been PlayStation. Even the people who own both, like myself, like I was so hardcore Xbox, and then when I finally converted over to the PlayStation, I'm like, oh my god, I've been missing out. Because the last thing I had from Sony was the little PSP.
Yuck.
Yuck. That Star
The
Wars game right
PlayStation,
there
the
was
PlayStation
great.
Portable was not good.
It was ahead of its time.
Yes, it was.
Okay, but at the time, it's still flawed.
Nintendo ripped them off.
Andrew, why did the PS4 win this console war?
If besides units sold, I really think it was the exclusives.
Yep.
Besides, dude, the best exclusive that I fucking ever had was that Spider-Man game. I shed tears to a video game. Are you kidding me?
And you guys
I've
get
never
mad
done-
at me for not crying at that game.
Yeah, cause dude, that
I
was
cried
so
twice.
bad.
I cried
Yeah,
twice.
exactly, twice. Yeah, but dude, that game was so. It was.
It is so good.
I want to say perfect, but it's not perfect.
Anyone who
I
has
think
a
it's like
PlayStation,
slightly below perfect.
go buy that game and play it.
Before Miles Morales comes out, oh my
Mhm.
god.
Mike, why did the PS4 win this console war in your opinion?
For me, I've always been Sony. I always thought that PS3 was better, PS4, PS2, PS1. But for me, it was probably also the exclusives, and my favorite exclusives were God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably the most beautiful looking game to play on console right now. It did sell more consoles as well. And I bought an Xbox One S last 2 years ago, and I tried comparing them. And for me, I had FIFA on both consoles, and for me, FIFA felt more fluid, better graphics on the PS4 than it did on the Xbox One S. So I just thought, in terms of hardware, PS4 is also better.
Caesar, before I get to you, I haven't forgotten about you yet, and you look like you're still thinking anyway. But for me, yes, unfortunately, it is the PlayStation 4, but not only because of like units sold, like you guys have mentioned, the exclusives. Okay. Let me put this in retrospect, or let me put this in perspective for you. It is God of War, Spider-Man PS4, and The Last of Us Part 2 came out within 18 months of each other. All in the same 18 months. Those 3 games came out, and those are the 3 of the biggest games of the decade.
Yeah.
So just to put that out there, and the biggest thing for me, at least against Xbox, the Xbox One disappointed the hell out of me. In hindsight, I was really disappointed with how the console turned out. John, what are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, Chris, could I
What is a
mention
dog?
something when you're done?
Yeah, of course. But the Xbox One, it was my first big purchase as a young man. I dropped a whopping $500 on that mother trucker, on that brick, and I got a job at McDonald's just so I could pay for it.
My fish place check.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different ball game that we're not going to play. But the
LOL.
the
I was
Xbox
16.
the Xbox One, I love it. I still have it. Whether I play it or not, that's on me. But I don't have the heart to get rid of it. I have a lot of fun memories on that game. I played a ton of Grand Theft Auto. Thank you, Rockstar, for letting me transfer my account over. And I hope my Rockstar account can be swapped over to PS5 when the game comes out. Doubt it, but we'll see. Rocket League, played a lot of Rocket League on that mother trucker. I don't know if you guys played Rocket League on that.
We all played it together, except
It's
for
free to play
me, you,
now.
and Fido.
It's free to play right now. Rocket League. We should
Yeah,
all
man,
get
I
Rocket
paid
League.
for that.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, as this podcast brought to you by Rocket League, definitely not. But wouldn't that be crazy? But the Xbox, I love it so much, but ultimately I was disappointed by it. And just my short time with the PlayStation 4, it made me realize I should have had this console from the jump. And I mean, now it's swayed me to get the PlayStation 5 when the next gen comes out. And we didn't even touch on the pre-order scandal that's been happening with the PlayStation 5. But before we'll talk about that at the very end. Caesar, go ahead.
Me personally, I'm not counting how many units were sold. I'm not counting exclusively. Me, I'm going with nostalgia. I'm going with the good times. I'm going with the Xbox. Because for me personally, I think the Xbox One, for me personally, I have, I think, what, 4, 5? How long was this current generation out? 6 years?
I want to say 5.
2014
5?
dropped. Or at least that's
Oh, 14? Well, either 5 or 6.
5 or 6. I have about 4 years of Xbox, and I only have about barely, I think, 1 year of PlayStation. So for me personally, I like to say the Xbox One. But that's on the personal note. You know what I mean? That's for like my nostalgia with it. How much I got done on that game. I got so much done on that console. So me personally, I have to go for Xbox.
So the Xbox One is coming up on 7 years. Actually.
Oh my God, 7 years?
Wow.
November 22nd, 2013.
My Lord, it feels
crazy.
It doesn't feel that long. 7 years.
It doesn't at all.
Before we wrap, we didn't even touch on the PlayStation 5, and they said, "Hey guys, we're gonna let you know when pre-orders will be available," and they did their showcase this previous Tuesday as this podcast goes live on all your streaming platforms, but pre-orders went up that night at all retailers. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I heard it was because of Walmart. They were the ones who randomly put them up a day ahead, and all the other retailers were trying to catch up.
Yeah, so I mean, it was supposed to be the day after the showcase. That's what was said. It was supposed to be the day after. Walmart kicked it off. I don't know if it was by Walmart's choice or by Sony telling them, "Hey, go ahead, set the pre-orders out whenever you want."
It had to have been Walmart.
But
the lawsuit.
When Walmart dropped, GameStop, Target, Best Buy immediately followed.
Yeah.
Last one to follow was Amazon, obviously. But it was a mess. Best Buy site crashed. I believe GameStop, they're having problems with their site. Everyone was going in the store.
Andrew, how many GameStops did you go to?
Oh my God. All right. Let me tell you the story. Let me tell y'all this story. Me and Alex watched the showcase. Well, I watched the showcase for my little brother Alex. And we watched the showcase. His friend AJ texts him, "Yo, the pre-orders are out now," right after the showcase, about 2 hours after. And Alex was half asleep. He was like, "Oh, okay." He comes upstairs. He's like, "Hey, AJ said the pre-orders are out." I was like, Get in the fucking car. Let's go. And he told me he did not give a single flabbergaster. I don't know if you're censored here.
You've been saying fuck this whole time.
Yo, Chris, you can't say that, man.
You can't say that. You're the host.
Right.
For fuck's and Chris's sake.
Think of the sponsors. Think of the sponsors.
For Chris's
sake. Right.
So, anyways, Alex said he was not gonna fucking go until I said get in the car, and we go to the first GameStop right here by my house in Highland.
Yeah, it's not drop addresses. It's not.
It's general locations, and that's it.
In Indiana.
We're waiting in line, right? We're waiting in line. And we hear the cashier people, they're going, hey, we got 2 more disc drives and 2 more digital. And we were 2 people behind. And the 2 people in front of me ordered digital. So Alex goes, he gets his hard disk drive on my account because he needed an account to be able to pre-order there. But he gets his the one with the disk drive, and I get jack shit. We go to 2 other GameStops, and they're both sold out. And I get home, and I cry like a little sad boy.
Yo, I didn't know Alex got one.
Yeah, it didn't tell us.
Alex got one.
Yeah, he said that. He said in the group chat.
Yeah. I texted it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, Mike, thanks for backing me up, Mike.
I got you.
So then I go, and his friend AJ says again, hey, they're on Target. Go check it. Digital sold out again.
Who the hell is this AJ? Why is he getting all the scoops?
Yeah.
He is a
shout out
hardcore
something right.
He's a hardcore gamer, and he knows. He looks on Twitter and checks where all the pre-orders are. And so he told me they're on Target. Digital sold out. I already checked. And then Best Buy site crashes. I'm like, okay, maybe there's hope. At freaking 1 a.m., the site comes back up, and everyone starts ordering. And I wake up a sad boy because there's no more pre-orders. And so I go later in the day, the Wednesday, and I figure out, the digital was only 1% of the units sold. So that's saying that they didn't even put many digitals out, which is kind of crazy because that's the one everyone was going to go for because it's cheaper, right? And if they're forcing them to buy the disc, they're making that money. And so all the pre-units sold right now are mostly disc drive units, making that $500 off of it. Even though they're selling it for cheaper, they're making money off of the more expensive one because that's what they pushed. So that's great marketing, in my opinion.
But that rattles my brain because PlayStation, they're out here advocating for the digital versions of consoles, and they're going to be Sony's leading the charge in eliminating the disc drive from a console. Like, they are by far ahead of the game. And I think by PlayStation 6, I think the next generation of consoles will be the last one with the disc drive. I think. Say what?
I think.
Oh, you think it's going to stop now?
5, I think it's going to stop now because at this point, there's a lot of factors that play into it. Like, look at GameStop in general. GameStop stores in general have been shutting down left and right because everybody's going digital now. So I guarantee by the end, it's going to be this generation coming up. Either by the end of it or by the middle of it, we'll see the disc gone.
But I like what I like what Andrew's saying in regards to. I don't like it. The fact that PlayStation, how the hell are you going to drop a cheaper console and not expect people to flock towards it? And I get it. PlayStation, Sony has admitted they fumbled the bag. They said, "Yo, that's our bad. We goofed. Expect more in the coming weeks." That's fantastic. And then Xbox is like, "Oh, we'll tell you guys way ahead when the pre-orders go up because they're petty as hell." And get on Microsoft that they can get this dub for pre-orders. But and I feel bad for Andrew because me over here in little Oklahoma got my pre-order with ease. With there's one GameStop here in Enid, and I walked in hours after the showcase had ended, and there's a line there, and I walked in and I said, "Is this where the party's at for the pre-orders?" And they're like, "Hell yeah, brother!" And there was a line with 3 kids. First of all, these kids were paying in cash because you got to drop $50 on the for the console.
Yeah.
Why the frick are you paying in cash? Who the hell has $50 in cash on them anymore? Do any of y'all have $50 in cash on you?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I
Because
would say too. I have not seen $50
All
in cash
digital.
in the
All
longest
digital.
time. Yeah.
But well, as we're wrapping up, is there anything else you would like to say before we close out?
Go subscribe to Gare Bear Gaming on YouTube.
Do it now. Do it right now. Before this video ends, subscribe, follow, and share.
On
Yes.
Facebook and
Drop a like.
Instagram and Twitter.
And Twitter. I just made it Twitter like a couple weeks ago. I go wild on there because it's Twitter and no one cares.
You do gotta delete your last post if that's
No,
something you're gaming channel.
What was the
was
last
so
post?
funny.
Go on Twitter when we're done with this.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it was so funny, bro.
Oh,
I thought it was
he sent it to
hilarious.
us on Snapchat.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious, bro. Like,
Man, I was preoccupied earlier. What are you talking about?
hold on.
I'm not checking y'all's
Ew.
Twitter when I'm out.
Check my Twitter. That's not too much.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, yep, yeah. Okay.
Right? Delete it.
Subscribe.
My response was exactly what I thought in that moment.
So, what console are you guys gonna get? I mean, Andrew has already said he's gonna get the PS5. I'm gonna get PS5. I pre-ordered my PS5. What else will get?
I'm gonna get both, but PlayStation first. If I get
Caesar?
the Xbox, it'll be a couple years down.
I'm getting
the PS5, and I'm only getting the Xbox if I win the draw from Taco Bell.
So Caesar's the only
How much
one
Taco
out of
Bell
all
are
of
you
us
gonna
getting the Series X or Series S. The
You
S.
don't get
sure.
the Series
Ain't cheap.
Yo, we didn't even talk about the S and how trash it is.
Fuck it. Keep going. Keep going.
Then let's keep going.
Dude,
Why do you gotta
alright,
stop?
alright.
I gotta get
So,
going.
yo, all right. So last take on this.
Yeah,
This
last thing, I promise.
Xbox with the Series X, they released the Series S, which is a weaker system for $299, and everyone thought that the digital version was gonna be $299 because they thought that's what the Series S was, but no, it's the Xbox One X, a tiny bit more powerful, and everyone's flocking to it because it's gonna be cheaper. But it's not for the next gen. What it is for that everyone thinks is that it's going to be a console for parents to buy their young kids, so they don't have to drop $500 on a good system, just $300 on a system that the kid will be occupied with to play. And
And it
that's
plays
what
4K movies.
I don't know if it does. I think it plays Blu-ray movies.
For sure, Blu-rays. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's gonna play the 4K movies, but I know
Blu-ray. I read that earlier.
Yeah, it's
The
just
S,
Blu-ray.
The S is what is it? The 1080. It's not
Yes.
4K.
Okay.
It's not 4K, but so it's like I understand that the Series S has that draw of the cheaper PlayStation or the cheaper Xbox, and people are gonna get it. But I don't think if you're like if you worry about the graphics and how things look and the loading speeds, and that's what draws you to the next gen, then I don't think it's one that you should get.
And I hate for all of us to crap on Caesar for getting the Xbox, but Caesar, is that something that deters you? Are you gonna upgrade to the X?
What do we do to you?
What did you do to me? I just
John
for 4
bullies
months.
him.
I just for 4 months, and I come back and I'm just getting bullied. But it's fine.
But why
Yeah, man.
the
Good,
S,
good.
Caesar? Why the S over the X? Price?
The S. Here's my plan. The S is because it's cheaper. And it is either way, no matter what. It is next gen. So all the games that you guys will get, I can get as well. I can experience the other side of the coin, and then a little bit later down the road, I do plan on getting a PS5. I just want to experience essentially both sides of the coin. That's why I originally got the PlayStation 4 was because all of my friends are going to PlayStation. Let me get one too. This time around, it's because, like I said, it's cheaper, and I will eventually switch over to the PS5. I just want to see both sides of the coin, basically. You know what I mean?
And maybe we can all flock back in December or January after we sat on our consoles for a few months or a couple months, and we can talk about them appropriately, especially while those first day bugs that we're going to encounter, because it's going to be the worst.
Well, for the cheaper version, Caesar, they haven't officially announced it, but there's rumors of a Series V, and it's supposed to be the digital version of the Xbox Series X.
I mean,
So
So it's gonna be in between the S and
it'll
the.
be So
S.
it'll be the $399 price, but it's gonna have every spec of the $499 one. The Series
Interesting.
X. So if you're looking to go the cheaper route but still get like that true next gen experience, if they officially announce it, this is a rumor, then that might be the route to go.
Just a rumor. Just a
Just a
rumor.
rumor. Just a
Right.
rumor.
Nothing
just a
confirmed
rumor.
out of Microsoft. But
There's a
on that
rumor
rumor, we're
going
gonna end this week's episode for Chris's sake. Thank you guys, Andrew, Caesar, John, Mike. Thank you all a ton for coming on. Like what they said a little bit ago, go subscribe to Gare on YouTube. Go follow the socials. I'm gonna post all these guys' social medias, the ones that they will let me put
Aw.
in the description of this podcast. So go ahead and follow all of them. And you guys may have heard me talk about Mikey's Corner at some point
Hell
on
yeah.
the podcast. Mikey's Corner is actually it's a product of Michael Haddadin, who was so kind to be on this episode, but he will be featured going forward. It'll just be whatever the hell Mike wants to come on briefly with whoever the hell is going to be on this podcast with me, talking about random ass things from lollipops to why fish are so cool. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk
Crazy
about that.
things, dumb
Yeah,
things.
It's going to
first-hand
be.
experience with fish. Fish are not cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, John he killed him and ate him.
Not food.
Oh no, they
Fish
came
are
dead.
friends.
I ate them, but they already came dead.
Word. But thank you all again for joining me
Thank
for
you.
Chris's sake.
Thank you, Chris, for having
Thank
me.
you,
guys
Chris.
rock.
Chris.